Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Formula Fun podcast with me, Sinead.
And me, Jay. Hello, Sinead. Hello, everybody.
Jay.
How
How
are
are
we
we
doing?
doing?
Same question. I'm good.
Yep.
How are you?
I am good. I hear
Good.
you're going off on holiday tomorrow. I'm sure.
I am going off on
Looking forward
holiday
to
and I
that.
cannot wait. It's going to be great. And also, I will try my best to watch the race in some Spanish bar somewhere as we're sunning ourselves. But yes, very, very excited. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. If you haven't listened to us before, my name's Jay. This is Sinead. We just talk about Formula One because we are fans and we are the people's podcast. Yeah. But if you have listened to us before and you keep on listening, please give us a sub, give us a like, give us a follow.
Yeah.
Listen to the whole episode.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
We're on Spotify, Apple Music, and sometimes on YouTube when all of our technical stuff goes right.
Well.
We'll see if that happens today. Okay, next up,
Yeah.
we're going to talk about Monaco Grand Prix and some news stories that have happened. And then also we're going to talk about our predictions. Now, we didn't do the predictions for Canada because we didn't record a podcast because of technical issues and life. But we're back and we're doing the predictions for the Monaco Grand Prix. Sinead, can Kimi Antonelli keep this momentum or will George Russell come back like a superhero?
Well, I've been thinking about this one because Monaco, I've learned over the last 2 years that I've been into Formula One full time, is a tricky, narrow track. So pretty much whoever qualifies on pole, unless they make some sort of huge faux pas or error, will end up winning. I wish I'd looked up a stat before we came on to say, like, X percentage of pole sitters at Monaco go on to win. Do you know what? I'll do that for next week. I'll do a little roundup of stats for Monaco.
Okay.
That'd be fun.
Okay.
I love a good stat. So with that in mind, and with the nature of the Monaco track, I think maybe, sorry. I think maybe Lando will qualify on pole.
Okay.
Because the McLarens have that nippiness in their new car that maybe and their fast starts. Now I know their fast starts have stopped being quite so dramatic compared to the other cars, but that's my very amateur, uninformed take.
So you think Mercedes, like, are they in line for a podium? Is Kimi Antonelli?
I think they're in line for a podium, and potentially my boy George will be ahead because he has a lot more experience. And as we know, Monaco is full of bear traps for crashes and clips on the walls and things. So, what do you think,
Absolutely,
Jay?
yes.
What are you feeling?
Okay, so Monaco, yeah, very, very treacherous. I think in the most recent years, it has been very much a case of anyone who's started on pole or at least the front row has had more of an opportunity to win. There's a couple of things this year which I don't, in terms of like the new engines and the new energy deployment and everything, I'm not entirely sure how it's going to go. They've done a couple of things. So we've spoken quite often about the straight mode with the wings and how they change the angle to get more speed on the straight, which is basically now on all tracks, every single straight possible. That just happens. It looks like what the old DRS looked like at the front and the back wing. This year, there is no straight mode. It's all wings are up. So is somebody going to try and drop a bit of downforce and make the wings a little bit skinnier so that they're a little bit straighter on the a little bit faster on the straights, or is everyone just going for maximum downforce and just try and get around this nippy circuit, which is very, very tight. If anyone doesn't know what Monaco Grand Prix is, please have a Google because it's just street tracks in the Principality of Monaco.
Well, it's iconic, isn't it? Like, I feel like somebody who doesn't know anything about Formula One at all, of all the tracks, they would know Monaco because it's like the iconic F1 sort of, ta-da, it's F1, we're in Monaco.
The crown jewel, as it were. It's Saturday qualifying if there's one session of the year I'd tell anybody to watch, I think
Mm-hmm.
it has to be Monaco on a Saturday. Monaco on a Sunday, yes, can get very processional, and there's
Mm-hmm.
just lots of queues, and basically the person that's on pole won't put his foot down and go as fast as he can because they're
Mm-hmm.
also trying to manage the gap so that no one can jump them in the pit stops. So it's all
Yeah.
very strategic on the Sunday, and they're sort of just having a Sunday drive around a track. That being
In the
said,
sun.
Monaco is very difficult to drive, and also it's
Yeah.
still Monaco and it's still an F1 car. But on a
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, especially when we get to Q3, where no one's leaving anything else out there apart from just pure speed and throwing balls to the wall and just let's see how fast we can go,
Mm-hmm.
it's really exciting session to watch. So that is something definitely to look out for. But I don't know how the racing's going to be. There's a top speed restriction this year
Oh,
with the energy deployment in terms of how it tapers off. I won't try to explain it in proper technical terms, but basically when they hit a lower speed to what they have been doing, so let's just take it in 50s. Let's take 200 kilometers an hour. The speed is going to taper off in terms of the deployment. If you're in overtake mode, it's going to taper off, but less dramatically. As
right.
soon as they hit 300 kilometers an hour, there'll
Mm-hmm.
be no more battery deployment. If you're in overtake mode, I think it's 310 or 320. Then there'll be no overtake mode. I think this is to reduce the potential of any accidents again. We don't want
Right.
those big closing speeds and stuff, so they're trying
Mm-hmm.
to just put a slight restriction on it. It should mean that there won't be any lift and coast. Do I need to explain what lift and coast is?
Well, I know what it means.
Great.
But,
People that might
but
not know what it means
no.
is people basically letting the car slow itself down by coming
Mm-hmm.
off the throttle,
Mm-hmm.
therefore saving fuel. Therefore, as you do lift and coast, if you own an electrical car or a hybrid powered car, you slowing down with no brakes is sort of recharging your battery. And that's what
Yeah.
they've been doing a lot for the first 5 races of the year.
Right.
Whereas here they shouldn't need to do that because there's no, it is a very, it doesn't, this circuit is not going to be as dependent on the battery as much as other circuits have been.
Okay. Two questions for you. The straights in Monaco, compared to other tracks, are they shorter generally? Do you know? Or do all the
Yes,
straights
short.
have to be like a specific length?
No, they're shorter
No.
and a lot narrower. When
Okay.
DRS first came in, they had an activation point before the just before the tunnel. Then when they were just entering the tunnel, they could open the DRS. Where that tunnel is a bend, and
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a couple of accidents, so they swiftly got rid of that. Um, and then they only had it on the start finish straight. Like you said,
Okay.
it's such a twisty, tight circuit. It's really hard to overtake
Mm-hmm.
in Monaco. It's going to be, if there's a safety car, pit stops, it's going to be very much strategic, hard to understand if you're just a newcomer to the sport, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, Saturday's the one to watch.
Right. And then the other question is, I know you're not a meteorologist, but how often does it rain in Monaco? As in, not generally, but is it has it a, because you think of, it's June, you think of Monaco, it's sunny usually, has
Mm.
it ever rained?
I
Yeah.
Yes, I can recount at least three that I've
Mm-hmm.
seen
Mm-hmm.
have rained. A
Mm-hmm.
great race to watch
Mm-hmm.
is the 2008 Monaco Grand Prix.
Mm-hmm.
It was raining. Cars were going off left, right, and center, and it was
Yeah.
slowly drying. And it was like, when do we put dry tires on? And
Mm-hmm.
very good race, a very good race. And that wasn't a case of whoever started on pole just won. It was very different because it was all over
Right.
the place.
Right.
But yeah, no, I have known it to rain. I don't know how many times I've seen it rain, but it definitely does rain.
It is
And
possible. Right. Just
yeah,
because the
absolutely.
reason I ask is because it is such a tricky track, I would imagine in the rain, it's going to get pretty hairy and quite
Yes.
dangerous.
And
So,
when it rains, it rains a lot. There's a
yeah.
what was the race? I think it was Alan Prost and Ayrton Senna once going at it when Ayrton Senna was in a Tolman, I believe, when he was like sort of starting out his career. This was when Ayrton Senna was like, oh my God, he's insane. He wasn't in a top team, but he was chasing down Alan Prost for the race win. And
Hmm.
it was pouring down, and Alan Prost is coming across the line every single time, like waving his hands, pointing to the sky, saying, "We need to stop this race."
Right.
And I believe they did red flag it before the end of the race, but as they red flagged it, Alan Prost like sort of pulls over, and Ayrton Senna overtakes him and gets to the start finish line before him, and everyone's like, "He's just oh
What?
my God, he's just won this race, insane!"
Yeah.
But what they did is they rolled back a lap because the red flag was flown, and then
Right.
the lap finished. What they did is they did red flag, whatever it was on the previous lap is the actual race classification. All this uproar, all this political
Mm.
stuff that happened, obviously, but it really stamped Ayrton Senna's authority into Formula One as being one of the greats. On Ayrton Senna,
Oh yeah.
do you know what records he holds around Monaco?
What?
Okay, let me make this better.
Let
Who
me
is the
see.
most successful?
Sexiest man in Monaco.
I mean, he was for a while, that's for certain. But here's one. How? Okay, who has won the most races at Monaco?
Is it Ayrton Senna?
It is Ayrton Senna with 6 victories. He
Right.
was lightning fast around there. Should have
Hmm.
been 7, but
Hmm.
he stacked it into the wall when he wasn't really paying attention. And then when he did that, he just went straight to his apartment and he didn't come out for 2 days. Yeah, Ron
Brilliant.
Dennis, who was the
Bit of a drama
manager of
queen.
McLaren, tried to get in touch with him, and he just didn't. He was a very spiritual person. He needs to get back in touch with his
Right. Chakras.
aura and all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Okay. Can I guess another one? Is there another one?
yes.
Or is that the only one?
Uh, well, he's the only one that's got 6. You can guess
But
who's
can I
got
guess another
5.
record that he has? Or is that the only record that he holds?
Yes,
Okay.
I don't know.
Fastest lap
No,
ever?
that's
All
I
right.
want to say that was last year by
Right.
Lando Norris when he
Yeah.
got pole. Um, but just very, very, yeah. Ayrton Senna was no everyone regard a lot of people regard Ayrton Senna as the greatest driver that ever lived.
Right.
Um, and he was very, 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 very fast around Monaco. Okay, Alpine. I have some news about Alpine.
Right.
I have
Okay.
2 bits of story about Alpine. I have number one is I don't know if you read much about this, but Alpine sold 25 or 24% of the F1 team.
Yes. This
And it was like Rory McIlroy,
Ryan
Anthony Joshua,
Reynolds. No, that was
Ryan Reynolds.
yeah, Rob
Yep,
Mack. Yeah.
yeah, they all
Yep.
got involved and purchased this stake in Alpine.
Hmm.
That consortium wants to now sell that stake, and Mercedes were in line to potentially buy it. Now, there's been lots of uproar from other teams being like that would sort of
Mm,
mean there's an A team and a B team, and
hmm.
would Alpine be
Conflict of
working sort of
interests.
for Mercedes? Exactly.
Yeah.
Mercedes have now pulled out.
Okay.
Um,
And when you
and one
say
of
Mercedes, do you mean just like Toto Wolff? Like
no, I
no,
mean
you mean
Mercedes.
Mercedes. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
not a personal thing from Toto Wolff. Mercedes
Okay.
themselves.
Okay.
Um, but this potentially opens the door for Mr. Christian Horner potentially.
Ah.
Mm,
Okay. And what would that
we will
mean?
see.
Like, so he would just like, would he actually have a hand? Maybe you don't know, but like, would he have actually then be allowed to have some sort of hands-on input, or would it just be more like he's
A
just kind
background
of,
investment.
yeah, yeah.
I think if Christian Horner got involved, it would be a case of I want this 25%, but I also would want to be part team owner or part
Mm-hmm.
the CEO or
Mm-hmm.
team principal. I don't know, but I don't think Christian Horner is going to get involved unless he can get involved actively from the racing
Sure.
team side. Could be wrong.
Sure.
I don't know Christian Horner.
Yeah.
Christian, do you want to get in
Well,
touch and come on our show? We can ask you the question.
well, I think from what we've seen of him, generally, and also, with him being on Drive to Survive, we got a much sort of closer insight into the way he
Hmm.
operates and all that stuff. So just from that alone, I think we can tell he probably is the kind of person that would want to get involved. Like he wouldn't
Yeah.
be happy just taking a back seat. In terms of his gardening, he's on gardening leave or is that done now?
I think it's
I know it's done.
well, it was last
I,
year at the Silverstone Grand Prix. So dare I say, actually, it will probably is it done? I think it might be done already.
mm-hmm.
But if it's not,
It's very
it would
soon.
be a year after, which would
Mm-hmm.
be very, very soon.
Right.
Silverstone Grand
Yeah.
Prix. Um, yeah, I have another bit of news about Alpine as well. Do you want to hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Alpine have a new title sponsor for next year. I feel like this might be a bit of you. This. Do you know who it is?
No, but go on.
Gucci.
Oh, okay.
$150 million.
Okay.
Nice and cheap.
Right. Does this mean that the boys are going to be rocking up in like
Yeah.
cool suits?
I
Yeah.
can't wait to see what the car looks like. The car's going to be
Oh
like, the
yeah.
little like G
The
symbol.
little
Is it just going to be
Gucci,
that
yeah,
all
like
over
the
the car?
little, yeah, maybe.
Mental.
Well, will this mean they change their color scheme?
Yeah.
Or, yeah?
No, it will no
Aw.
longer be BWT. It will be something else. So yeah, whether they
That's
get the
kind of annoying
blue and like the
because
red and
the pink,
gold of
like
Gucci,
the
I don't know.
pink and blue, I love that. That's like my favorite livery.
Yeah, no, that will be no more. I mean, I'm sure BWT is still part of the sponsor, which is where the pink comes
Mm-hmm.
from.
Yeah.
But Alpina Blue, how is that going to link in with the gold, green, and red of Gucci? Is those the colors? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
am not fashionable,
Yeah.
but that's what I feel like.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So that's sort of most of the news that I can really see happening this week or the past week. So do you want to just jump into it and go straight into some predictions?
I would love to. Yes.
Okay,
That's a good
wonderful. So
idea.
just for everyone to be updated, we obviously missed Canada, but Sinead is currently on 18 points and I am on 32. It's going well for me. And what we do, we have who qualifies last for 1 point, who is on pole for 1 point, who is the best of the rest. And when I say that, at the moment, it very much seems to be McLaren, Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull. So who is the top placed that isn't in one of those teams, and then we have the top five. If we get the person right but not the position, we get 1 point, and if we get the person and position correct, we get 2 points. And in the top five for the race, we have standard race this weekend, no sprint. We have normal practice and then qualifying and then race. So Sinead, who have you gone for in last place, qualifying in last place?
I've gone for Perez. Sergio
Perez. Okay.
Perez.
Can you why?
Checo Perez.
Why have you gone for Perez?
Um, I I think with a lot of the last place predictions, there just seems to be a pool of like 4 or 5 drivers that it could be. It's not that I think Perez sucks or anything like that. Because he's in a new team and in a new car, he happens to be the one that I've gone for this time around.
Nice.
What about
I
you?
have gone. I have gone for Lance Stroll, and there's
Okay.
a reason for this.
Oh.
Providing there's no technical issues or like cars breaking down, that's why they can't qualify. I mean, if that is the case, Lance Stroll's a pretty good bet because Aston Martin are not doing great. But Ferrari, and you'll see where this might be going later, have a smaller turbo in their car, which means they can spin up the turbo quicker. They had that whole like advantage of getting off the line when it was the start of the race, or after there was a safety car. Their car would get up to speed a lot quicker than the others. Mercedes have the engine advantage on the longer straights, as you mentioned earlier. Ferrari, I think, have probably the fastest car from just a chassis point of view in terms of aerodynamics. I also think that the Ferrari engine is better suited to the short, twisty track nature of Monaco. The Cadillac has a Ferrari engine in it. So I would hope and think that Cadillac might be not, I don't think they'll get to Q2, but I am going, come on, Cadillac, your 6th race ever. Let's see what we can do, because Cadillac are a new team. And Cadillac obviously have Perez and Bottas. And Bottas has not been doing great in comparison to
No.
Perez, which I think a lot of people are quite surprised about. But I
Yeah.
have gone for Lance Stroll because, yeah, I think the Honda is just so unpredictable, and I'm worried for Aston Martin in general with the amount of money that Lawrence Stroll has spent in that team. Anyway, pole position. You mentioned it earlier. You thought Lando Norris. Is that still the thing?
Well, because of all that stuff that you just said about Ferrari, am I allowed to change it now? Or
Yeah,
because let me remind our listeners that if I say a driver, you're not allowed to say the same one.
correct.
So
I should have played my
I'm
cards
gonna
close to my chest.
I'm gonna play dirty here and say Hamilton.
Ah, okay. Okay. I also have a Ferrari, but I did not
Yeah,
have Lewis Hamilton. I had
right.
Charles Leclerc. Now, he has been on pole a few times at Monaco. Home Grand Prix, he
Yeah,
is, of course,
Monegasque. Yeah.
Monegasque.
Mhm.
And Charles Leclerc is very, very, very quick around Monaco over one lap.
Yeah.
He's had some bad omens in the past with strategy blunders and also a gearbox that broke on the way to the grid when he was once on pole. But in general, he's very quick. And I think out of the two of them, although I think Hamilton does have his mojo back and the car's finally
Mhm.
doing what he wants it to do,
Mhm.
I would love to see a Ferrari front row. And if Hamilton is on pole and you get this point, I'm
Mhm.
happy with that because
Right.
Hamilton's on pole. If
Right.
Leclerc gets pole and Hamilton's second, I get the point and they're both on the front row. Be very happy.
Yeah.
Um, best of the rest.
Yes. I think I'm once again gonna steal your potential answer based on
Ooh,
a conversation that we had last time
okay.
and say Franco Colapinto.
Okay. He was best of the rest last week in
Mhm.
Canada, doing
Mhm.
quite well. I think Colapinto nearly stacked it into all coming out the pits, but in general did very well. I haven't. I've actually gone for a younger driver, one
Mhm.
Arvin Lindblad. He had a he had a
Ah.
poor start. Well, he didn't start the Canadian Grand Prix, and I've just been listening to a podcast of him talking to Formula One recently on Beyond the Grid. Very good podcast. If anyone wants to get more into Formula One, you can listen to other podcasts that are out there, and one of them is Beyond the Grid, which is where people just sit down with drivers. Tom Clarkson sits down with drivers and just has a chat to them for an hour. And Lindblad, I've just been listening to his episode, and I was like, you know what? Sure. Uh, if he started the race in Canada, I think he might have beaten Colapinto as well,
Ah.
because Liam Lawson, Lindblad's teammate, was a few seconds behind. No, well, he's sort of in no man's land, to be honest. So he was a bit behind Colapinto, but I think that was due to the
Mhm.
safety cars and everything else that was going on. So I think I'm going to go for Lindblad. I think he's young and he's hungry, and he is just going to throw that car around that circuit and see how it goes. Okay, in fifth place, who do you have?
I have to change all my answers now because from what I planned. Okay. In fifth place, I am gonna put Lando.
In fifth place, I have gone for Max Verstappen because I don't know where he's
Ah,
going to end up, but I feel like he will make the difference quite often in a race like this where it is sort of a little bit unknown with these engines, etc. And I think he'll be good, and I think he'll be somewhere in the top five. So
right,
next up, fourth place.
right, right. So I know this sounds stupid, but I always forget about Max, and that's so silly because like when I'm thinking about my top five, I'm essentially thinking of the top three teams and trying to pick a lineup out of
Sure.
those. And then I forget that Max is like literally the goat.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm going to stick to my guns here and I'm going to say fourth place, Antonelli.
Antonelli, interesting. Okay. Okay. In fourth place, I've gone for Lando Norris in the McLaren.
Okay.
I think the McLaren, like you said earlier, I actually think the McLaren will be better suited to Monaco than the Mercedes, but they do still have the Mercedes engine, so
Hmm.
wait and see. In third place,
I am going to put Leclerc.
lovely. I have gone for Kimi Antonelli because I think
Hmm.
he is going to outshine Mr. George Russell. I'm assuming
Hmm.
you're putting George Russell second because you said that he's going to get something back on Antonelli.
Yeah, I'm sticking to it.
Okay. I have gone for a Ferrari 1-2. I started with Leclerc on pole, but I think Hamilton might get it off him at the start. I'm going to hope so.
Okay.
So I have gone for Charles P2.
Okay.
And in first place, Sinead.
Lewis Hamilton.
Which really stuffs up my prediction.
Oh no!
Because I had Lewis Hamilton as first.
I'll let you.
No,
Oh, we can.
no, it's okay. No, it's okay. I am going to say that
I can see Jay's brain.
Russell is going to win the Monaco Grand Prix. I haven't even got Hamilton in my top 5. Cool, I'm a Hamilton fan. And he just got P2. You know what? It depends if Lewis Hamilton's mum comes to this race, because where did she go? China. Where did Hamilton finish? 3rd. Where else did she go? Canada. Where did he finish? 2nd. If she comes to Monaco, he's probably winning.
Right.
But that's a little bit disappointing.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're giving me the advantage every time. You're giving me the advantage every time because you're letting me go first. You're
the less experienced person, so I have to. I'm being nice.
Right.
One day it will stop. Right, okay. We're moving on to Quizifying and Who Am I? Last week, if you weren't with us last week, what we are now doing is one of us takes a Quizifying question, which is just a fun little question about Formula One, and the other one takes a Who Am I, where we describe a driver, not their looks, well, maybe their looks, but we describe the driver and maybe their history, and then the other one has to guess who it is. I will go first with Quizifying, and because we're at the Monaco Grand Prix, it is a Monaco Grand Prix question.
Whee.
Sinead.
Yes, Jay.
What happened to the winner of the Monaco Grand Prix the day after the race in 1987? A. Was he arrested? B. Was it his wedding day? C. Was he driving to another circuit to compete in another race category?
Well, first of all, I have to compliment you because it's hard to write ABC questions and make all of the answers sound plausible. So well done.
That was the hardest part.
Yeah. I'm going to go with B. It was his wedding day.
Okay. That's just because Charles Leclerc got married recently. That was the only reason I put it in. It is not his wedding day. It was A. He was arrested. The driver in question who won the 1987 Grand Prix was...
Ayrton Senna.
Well done. It was Ayrton Senna who had run the race the previous day. And he was detained by police for simply riding a motorcycle without a crash helmet. But he was promptly released when they realised who he was.
Okay.
Don't you know I'm Ayrton Senna? Come on. Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, you're probably not going to crash. It's fine.
Yeah. God, those are the days. That wouldn't happen now, would it? He still would be detained no matter who you are.
Yeah.
Well, you'd hope. Yes, that was my Quizifying. That was a good Quizifying, I thought.
That was good. Well done.
I have an even better Formula Fun fact, which is coming up, just so you know, but you can do your Who Am I first.
I'm excited. Okay. So it's my turn to do the Who Am I? I've gone for an older driver, as in further back, because it's too easy if I I don't know. Okay. I was born in March 1971, and I raced in Formula One from 1994 to 2008. Although I did have an impressive career with 13 wins and 62 podiums, I never won a championship. In interviews, I've said that my childhood heroes are Jim Clark, Nigel Mansell, and Alan Prost. Throughout my career, I drove for Williams, McLaren, and Red Bull. After retiring from Formula One in 2008, I briefly returned to racing for a 2-year stint with the Deutsche Tourenwagen Masters from 2010 to 2012. Who am I?
You are David Coulthard.
Well done.
Very good. Very good.
I did try to keep it vague-ish. I did,
Very good.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
I had an
opportunity. What gave it away? What was the bit where you were like, oh?
As soon as you said the years he was in Formula One and 13 victories, I was like, that's definitely Coulthard.
I left out the bit about him being born in Scotland because I was like, yeah.
I had the opportunity to auction when I'm talking like I was 16, maybe even younger, 15 maybe, and David Coulthard's helmet was up for auction, and it
Mm-hmm.
went for something like 80 quid because I was in a room full of
Oh,
people who weren't Formula One fans, but I didn't have £90 at the age of 14 or 13 years old.
why not?
I could have had one of his race helmets.
That would have been very cool.
It would have
Yeah,
been very, very
very
cool.
cool.
Yes, very good. Well done. Okay.
Thank you.
Formula fun fact. Again, it's Monaco, so it is Monaco based. During the 2004 Monaco Grand Prix, the Formula One team, Jaguar, attached genuine, uninsured diamonds worth $300,000 to the nose cones of both their cars for a promotion for the new up-and-coming film Ocean's 12.
Mm.
Mark Webber and Christian Klein were the drivers of Jaguar at the time. However, on the opening lap, Christian Klein crashed at the Lowe's hairpin. When the damaged car was retrieved, the diamond was missing, and it has never been found.
Oh. So what do we like? Did he steal it or?
No, he didn't.
Oh.
The cameras are all on the track and stuff, and you can see clearly that he gets out the car and he walks away. He's not stolen it. It's like it's a marshal, or it's like someone that lives in
Yeah.
Monaco has just been like, I'll have that.
Yoink.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
I mean, the fact Jaguar, which is now Red Bull, have been known to do lots of cool promotional events. I think there was one for Superman where David Coulthard, who am I? David Coulthard was dressed in a like a Superman costume with like a cape and stuff, and he got a podium and things as the driver. It was cool, and the whole car was like decked out as Superman because it was a Superman Returns movie was launched that year. They've done one for James Bond, I think, and now and the Dark Knight. I think there was something for the Dark Knight as well. And then in 2004, they did this promotional thing for Ocean's 12, the movie being released, and being in Monaco, which is known as the crown jewel of motorsport. There's a massive casino there. It's very much about money. But who on earth thought it would be a good idea to stick diamonds on the front of the nose cone in Monaco, where people crash often?
All the time. Yeah.
But yeah, money gone.
Wow.
And no one knows where that diamond is.
Well,
crazy.
Wonder if there's like a marshal that mysteriously retired the next day. He's like, bye.
Who knows? Who knows?
He rocks up to work the next week in like a supercar.
Yeah, comes up with his Lamborghini. He's like, "Oh, what? You were driving a Ford Focus last week?" He's like, "Yeah,
yeah.
Don't know why."
Windfall.
Lovely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope everyone enjoys this weekend and watches the Monaco Grand Prix. As I said, if you're going to watch any session, it's an hour-long qualifying session on Saturday. If you're going to watch any session of the year, I definitely recommend you watch that. Any final thoughts, Sinead?
No, I'm really excited. And
Great,
also, well, I'm excited about the fact that it's not going to be at like 3 a.m. You know, I can just watch it.
Yes, we are into European season, which is also last year where Kimi Antonelli started having his downfall. So your boy George might pull it back. Although I will say, nobody has ever come back from a 43-point lead in the Drivers' Championship. So it seems like it's Kimi Antonelli's to lose, very much so, after only 5 races. Come on, George.
Not even
what can
last
you do?
year? Oh, no. Okay.
No, it went to about 30. Oh, got too hot. Perfect.
Hell.
Okay. You have been listening to the Formula Fun podcast with... why is my camera doing this? It's brand new. For God's sake. You've been listening to the Formula Fun podcast.
Where... Okay, try it one more time. Sorry.
You have been listening to the Formula Fun podcast.
Where Jay brings the formula.
And Sinead brings the fun. I'm going to go back to my dark room and I'll say goodbye.
Beep, beep.
I actually waved. That's ridiculous. Bye.